Hey guys, so today I have a small declutter video for you. I think I just did a declutter like 2 months ago. It was a video similar to this where I just kind of picked out a handful of products and showed them to you like this rather than going through my whole collection overhead style. And yeah, I'm in a little bit of a spring cleaning mood right now, and there are just a few products in my collection that I know it's probably time to pass on. Some of these are expired or I just don't like them and I can pass them on to someone else. I'm kind of reaching this turning point here where I just don't have the patience for products that I don't like. Like, I have so many products that I do like, and I just feel like life is too short to hold on to products and like make products work if I just don't like them. Like, I'm all for making products work if I do like the result of that, but sometimes it's just too much of a hassle and I'd rather just use what I already know and love. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Let's go ahead and start with one that you all probably saw this one coming. This is the Flower Beauty Heatwave Bronzing Essence. If you watched my video on packaging pet peeves, this was one of those products. I don't like the dropper, the cap gets super messy, and on top of that, I don't really like the look of this product on my skin either. The way that I would use a product like this is as a liquid bronzer, and I feel like about 50% of the time it goes on patchy, and I just find it generally hard to work with. I know some people like using this as like a mix-in product, like to darken their foundations or to mix with their moisturizer to give their skin a little bit of a bronzy glow. I just don't use products that way. And we'll talk about that more in a second, I don't really adjust the shades of my foundations. Like, I just don't do that. I just have foundations that match me to begin with, and then I don't have to worry about that. And my skin tone doesn't really change throughout the year, so I don't need to have like a summer shade and a winter shade. I don't need to do that. So I don't really see the purpose of this. This is still relatively new. It was sent to me in PR a few months ago. I know a lot of people like this, so I'm sure there is someone who would enjoy this, which is why I would just rather pass it on now rather than continuing to struggle with it. So in a similar vein, I'm also going to be decluttering my Ulta Beauty Foundation Adjusting Drops. You've seen these in my collection for years at this point. Every time I do a makeup inventory video, these are in there. And I've had these for probably 3 years at this point. I feel like I can count on one hand the number of times I've actually used these. And don't get me wrong, I do feel like these types of products are really helpful, especially if, let's say, you do get a little bit of a tan in the summer, or you like to self-tan and you like to adjust the shades of your foundations regularly. But like I said, my skin tone pretty much stays the same all year, and I've kind of realized that all of my foundations and concealers, they just match my skin to begin with, so I don't really need to have shade adjusters. So while I think these are really useful products for a lot of people to have, I've just kind of realized they're not really useful to me. These are old. I feel like there's just no point in continuing to let these sit and rot in my drawers when I think they're probably getting close to expiring. By the way, Ulta doesn't sell these anymore. They discontinued them a long time ago. But if you are looking for some shade adjusters, I know LA Girl makes quite a few, so that might be a good brand to check out. Okay, so next up, I feel like I should have seen this one coming, but this is the All Good Get Glowing Cream Blush in the shade Jam. So if you watched my last declutter video a couple months ago, I got rid of the other shade of this that I had. So this is essentially a cream blush that has an SPF of 15 in it. Really cool concept. I really like the concept. You can also wear it on your lips. And I kept this because I like the idea of having a blush with SPF in it, but I have not used this a single time since my last declutter video. So I think that tells me I probably don't need to keep this, because when I look at it in my drawers, the formula of this doesn't really compare to my other cream blushes. I love my Milani cream blush, I love my LYS cream blush, my new Tower 28 one, my Undone Beauty one. Like, those are the ones that I want to use. This one, I just kind of look at it and I feel this feeling of dread. Like, I'm not excited to reach for it. It has kind of a sticky, like stiff sort of texture. And yes, I can wear this on my lips too, and it is a really pretty color on my lips, but I have so many lipsticks and lip glosses to wear as well that I don't need to keep something just to wear on my lips when, you know, I already have a lot of lip colors. And as cool as it is that it does have SPF in it, I like that, you know, you get a little bit of extra sun protection on top of your regular SPF. I also don't need to have a blush with SPF in it. Like, I already wear a very generous layer of sunscreen on my face every day. A lot of times my foundation also has a little bit of SPF in it, so if I'm going to be spending the day outside, for example, chances are I'm going to be wearing one of my base products with SPF on top of a regular SPF. It's cool that it's in there, but it's also not a necessity, so I don't need to keep it for that purpose either. Another product with SPF in it that I'm going to be decluttering, discontinuing from my collection is the Supergoop Shimmer Shade eyeshadow with SPF 30. I have the shade Daydream. This sadly expired in February. It does have an expiration date on the bottom. I've talked at length about why I don't think this is worth it. They charge $24 for this. It's really just kind of an average sort of rose gold looking shade. It's a pretty color, don't get me wrong, but I have colors like this all over the place in my collection. That's what that looks like. It's pretty. I'm not saying it's not a nice color, but $24 for a shade that's really not all that special. You're basically paying for the sunscreen, which it is cool that there's sunscreen in here, but I always take my sunscreen all the way around the eyes, even on the eyelids. I know that surprises some people, but you do need sun protection on your eyelids as well, and for me, mineral sunscreens don't burn my eyes at all, so I don't have a problem with that. So I don't really need an extra eyeshadow with SPF in it. It is cool to know you're getting a little bit of extra coverage and protection there, but it was just kind of disappointing to me that this expired so quickly. So now that it's expired, I can't rely on those sunscreen ingredients to really be at their full efficacy anymore anyway. I did get quite a bit of use out of it. I did make a point once I realized that the expiration date was coming up last fall. I did start to wear this quite a bit as kind of like a base, so I feel like I got some good use out of it, but I'm just not wearing it anymore now that I know it's expired. I'm just kind of like, I just think it's kind of gimmicky at the end of the day. Like, yes, it's cool that these have sunscreen in them, but assuming you're already wearing a really good base layer of sunscreen, you don't really need these extra products to contain SPF. I definitely see the point of having like a foundation with sunscreen in it or a BB cream or something, because that's going all over your face. It might help to fill in any like areas where you might have missed your sunscreen, or yeah, it's just like nice to have that all over your face. But these little like color cosmetics products, I just don't really see the point in having sunscreen in those. Okay, so next I have a liquid liner. I actually wasn't sure to include this as an empty or as a declutter. Let me know what you guys think. Should I include this in my empties total? Because I am keeping track of the value of all my empties this year to compare that to the amount that I spend on makeup, so let me know what you think. But this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid eyeliner. I have had this open for like a year and a half now, and so I just think it's probably time to retire it. But there's still plenty of product left, so that's why I decided to talk about it in this video and not like an empties video. But I also feel like I got a lot of use out of this, and you know, I pretty much used it as much as I could, and I just don't feel like it's sanitary to keep using this on my eyes, especially because, you know, it's a wand type of liner, so it's dipping back and forth into there and then going on the eye area. So it's probably not safe to keep using this as long as I did, but... And I did just purchase a new black liquid liner to replace this, so I'm going to be saying goodbye to this. It was a nice liquid liner. There's nothing wrong with it. I just wasn't able to completely use it up before I felt like it's probably time to let go of that. It says the shelf life is 6 months. Yeah. Last but certainly not least, I've decided to declutter the Pacifica Crystal Rays Luminous Translucent Setting Powder. This was also, I feel like this was kind of just a matter of time. I think I was actually thinking about decluttering this at one point last year. I decided to hold on to it a little while longer. I just don't like this as much as I like other loose powders. So this is a very luminous setting powder, and it's a nice texture, like it's a nice, very finely milled powder, but the weird thing about this is that it has shimmer to it, and it has this kind of strange, like, pinkish sheen to it. It's really hard to see. Let me see if I can show you like an up-close swatch to really illustrate what I'm talking about. And I think that that sheen is kind of meant to be sort of brightening or something, but all right, there's kind of a, I put a lot on so you could really get a good look, but see what I mean? It has like a reddish pink shift to it. I don't really understand why that's there. Like I just don't feel like that's ever something I've wanted in a face powder. And it also, like when you're in the sunlight, like if I'm in my car and I'm wearing this and I look in the car mirror, I can see all these little shimmers all over my face, and I think I've just outgrown that. My favorite loose setting powder right now is the e.l.f. Halo Glow. That is such a good setting powder. I know a lot of people love that one. It's slightly glowy, but it doesn't have any shimmer to it. So if I'm going to be reaching for like a loose translucent setting powder, I'm going to use that one. And there is just so much product in here. I just don't want to force myself to use this up. I'll definitely find someone to pass this on to, but I don't like it. So I'm not going to keep it and just force myself to use it when I have so many other powders that I like. So that's kind of the moral of the story. I'm at this point now. I've always been a little bit stubborn when it comes to decluttering. Like, I would rather use something up than declutter it. Of course, that's always the goal, but I also don't want to force myself to use products that I'm not at least enjoying in some way. So that's my little mini declutter, my little spring clean out. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about these products. Yeah, I'm just kind of in a cleaning mood. I also kind of want to do a video like actually cleaning my makeup. I saw Kyla Fish do that recently and I was like, that's a good idea. I probably should do that too. Where I just kind of go through, wipe everything down, like disinfect everything. Let me know if you guys would like to see that and I can film it. Just in the mood to do a little spring cleaning. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I'll also leave my declutter playlist linked down below if you're in the mood for more decluttering inspiration. But otherwise, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you again very soon in my next video. Bye.